All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. It's more of a panel discussion than a webinar. Um, we will get started with this. Anand will start off with the introduction.
Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to the panel discussion on solutions for the printing and packaging industry from IT Champs. I thank you all for the time extended for this panel discussion. IT Champs has successfully implemented hundreds of SAP solutions across the industry in India, Europe, Asia, USA, and Middle East. Inception in the year 2005. IT Champs has grown significantly in terms of technology expertise as well as revenue. We have successfully, implemented multiple solutions on HCM and SAP. We are a premier SAP partner, which was done in the year 2013 upwards, and we became a training academy also during that point of time. After that, we've been the best partner award on SAP ERP on cloud. Since most of the new generation organizations are moving towards cloud, and all the solutions are hosted towards cloud. If you look at it, we have a value-added reseller business partnership with SAP, and both for on-premise as well as on cloud. So, considering the scenario in the industry, IT Champs has done a lot of projects, implementation of SAP services, SAP in terms of services, as well as application maintenance AMS projects. We also do the entire payroll solutions for leading conglomerates in India as well as overseas. We do professional services where we have professional services as an industry. We cater to that to various industries on that particular platform. So the HCM and the payroll solutions are another initiative. Some of the big names in the industry where we have supported them or are supporting them at the current time is ABB, Asia Bomb Brewery, Metro Cash and Carry, Subex for professional services, Suzlon, APNS, and Rane. So these are some of our customers, and South India Paper Mills, where we have done the complete implementation for printing and packaging solution. If you look at it, the industry is during this COVID times. This presentation is all to do about particular return on investment during this point of time. How do we scale up, and how do we meet the need in the current crisis? So I would like to now introduce Rajesh Kutnikar, CEO of IT Champs, and he's been there in the industry for the last 25 years and has extensive experience in implementing SAP within India as well as global clients. Over to you, Rajesh.
Yeah, thanks, Anand, for that introduction. So, like Anand mentioned, today we're going to be focusing on printing and packaging industry, and we have one distinguished guest amongst us, young and dynamic Mr. Pratik Patel, who's been associated with South India Paper Mills for the past 16 years and has headed various divisions within the organization in different capacities, and currently is managing and heading the marketing division. He's been involved with production, marketing, all aspects of the business in the past 16 years. So welcome, Mr. Pratik, and thank you for accepting this invite to be part of this panel discussion to share your views on the industry. And so with this, I would just request Mr. Pratik to just give us an overview on what he thinks, how important the Indian packaging industry is, and how printing and packaging industry is doing currently globally as well as in India.
Yes, good day, everyone. Uh, See, packaging industry, if we talk about packaging industry, there are many things like plastic packaging, paper packaging. There are many other sources of conventional sources of packaging, also like you say, wooden boxes, which are that also this all this is termed in or included in the packaging industry. Now, as mentioned in a size, it is a very much growing industry, uh, and as termed by India, as told by Indian Institute of Packaging, actually this is a 14 billion US dollar industry and growing at very rapidly. Now, generally, now in the current scenario, when we say that due to this, COVID-19 effect, now we are seeing that in country like India, everyone wants things to be delivered at their doorstep, and the people wants to avoid going out anywhere, and at your convenience you want to get all the things. Now, when we say till now, conventionally what it was happening, that either you go outside somewhere, buy things, see by yourself, feel by yourself, and purchase the things. Now that things are changing, like we see growth of these online platforms also, it is growing so rapidly. So when we talk about all these things, the packaging of each and every product plays a very important role, because it has to deliver from factories or to farms, from farms to your houses. So at all the stage, a good packaging is required. The packaging which can able, it has dual role. It also has to transport the or transfer the material from one place to another. At the same time, it has capability to advertise, like you can print as many things on your packaging which tells more about the product and things like that. So, and at the same time it has to be strong enough so that it is without any hazards. It has to reach at the final user, to the final user. Now when we, and a new thing coming in is now eco friendliness of the packaging material. So if we say now paper is the most eco friendly uh, substitute to any other thing, also plastic, so far. So that is, so we see a tremendous growth potential in paper and packaging industry. So as when we say paper and paperboard industry, it is a wide segment. Like it starts from the raw material collection chain to paper mills, then to converters or corrugating box plants like us, a small last mile delivery, for the persons who can facilitate last mile deliveries, something like very small converters who eventually buy some raw materials from big converters, print it as in what size of or what volumes required, very small volumes they cater to, and they give it to the last person who packs it and distributes the product. So that way, if we say it is a big industry, starting from the biggest uh, like big companies, also some many multinationals are currently into paper packaging and paper production and packaging. So that way it is from top to bottom everywhere, and it is required. Now if we talk about the India's per capita paper consumption is very low. If we say it may come around more than 30th or 40th position, where we are using per capita very less amount of paper at the moment. And if we say size of the market, like paper and paperboard consumption, India stands at somewhere around number fifth in world, where we consumed around 13 billion tons of paper and paperboard, whereas the Chinese, they are almost 10 times bigger than us in the market. US is almost 5 times bigger than us. So as a country, we have lot many potentials. like we see in other countries like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, where till now we're not it was all not packed into corrugated boxes. In India, we used to go and buy the things, buy the stuff, but outside it is all that too comes packed in a corrugated carton.
Yeah.
So that way, our due to our movements in this agricultural, there's a lot of new ideas coming in, and this will definitely increase the consumption of paper and paperboard, and we may move to, in another few years, we may move to second or third rank in world's paperboard consumption. So potential is very high in this, and growing day by day. Yeah, so that is the packaging industry. And now, if we have to grow, we have to leave the conventional methods what we were following till now, and we have to adopt the world class technologies so that we can produce, the productivity can be increased, our efficiency levels can be increased, so that we are competitive in market as well. So yes, that is our industry.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Pratik, for that valuable insight. As we all know, generally the market has been down for the past couple of months because of the COVID situation. But there are a lot of analysts and research organizations like Statista who have predicted a big bounce back in the coming year. In 2021, the expected GDP growth for India is 7.43 percent, which is, if you, as you can see, much higher than the past few years. Now, these are not just numbers put out there to make people feel good, but it is substantiated with other data as well. So, India's biggest strength has been its captive consumption. So more than 72% of the produce in India is consumed, within the country. So it doesn't have to depend on the growth or the demand outside India, whether there is a recession or a depression outside. Still, we just have so much of so many consumers within India that despite the fact that we have barely scratched the surface, like Mr. Pratik also mentioned, there is still so much potential to grow, especially in the packaging industry. And looking at that, this kind of captive consumption also largely contributes to the GDP growth, which is predicted. And then there are a lot of other industries. Every industry that is slated to grow now is all dependent on other supporting industries. So for industries which are having very rapid growth, like food and beverage sector, packaged food and beverage sector, as you can see over the years, it has been growing exponentially. And with some predictions by Deloitte and Rabobank, by 2026, we are slated to grow to about 200 billion dollars in terms of our e-commerce market size, which is huge. And so this all these industries depend on the support provided by other growing sectors, like our printing and packaging industries have to support them. If you look at this quadrant of what are the this our current situation of global pandemic, how it has impacted various industry sectors. There are some sectors like hospitality and healthcare, insurance, restaurants, etc., which are in for a hard reset. Unfortunately, these sectors have been hit very hard by this COVID pandemic. But there are also others in this lower left quadrant, which need to reinvent the way they do business because to deal with the current situation. The traditional drugstores need to move online, for example. Airlines has taken a big hit, so because of the reduced travel, etc. So whereas if you look at the growth sectors where it is slated for a huge surge, those are sectors like pharma, life sciences, e-commerce, and communications equipment, internet media, etc. Now, most of these, if including the FMCG, pharma, and e-commerce, all of them use packaging, and so this is what fuels the this is what creates the huge demand for packaging industries. And like Mr. Pratik rightly pointed out, this is the time when, to meet this kind of surge in the requirements, the packaging industry cannot rely on traditional methods which they have been used to in terms of adapting technology, etc. So this is the time when they need to scale up to meet the demand, and this scaling up, we will see how that can be achieved, and what are the areas, how do they translate into action items when we talk about scaling up to meet this kind of demand. And so the key growth drivers for printing and packaging industry, like we just discussed, increasing demand from pharma, increasing demand from agri packaging, which is a new sector that's growing fast. And now with so much focus on health and hygiene, so instead of selling and buying products in the open as traditionally was done, even fruits and vegetables, people are preferring in a packaged form so that it can be properly, safely handled and hygienically transported and delivered to the end customers. And of course, in the FMCG sector also, packaging is growth in FMCG will directly impact and help in growth of the packaging industry, and lifestyle products and wooden packaging industry. Growth in all these also fuels the growth in printing and packaging industry. And if we see the trend already in the past couple of months, if you look at the numbers in the GST collections that have happened, June has shown very encouraging results. That means if the GST collections increases, that means the market is again coming back up, and things are looking positive and bouncing back. So in short, we have to now start thinking, we have to make a shift from surviving to thriving. And with this economy slated to bounce back and grow positively, so industry has to thrive and make use of this surge in the opportunity and cater to that. But for that, the industry has to be ready. And so let us see how what factors are needed to make sure that the printing and packaging industries can adapt to this growth. So there are 4 strategic areas where there will be focus required. One is recovering the lost revenues and recovering revenue opportunities. Second is streamlining and rebuilding the operations to cater to this greater demand. And there is also another very important area where a lot of rethinking in the way the organizations are structured, and how what kind of tools and technologies are adopted. And so in essence, it is that is what fuels, that is what differentiates successful and upcoming industries from those who are ready to adapt to the new changes, are the ones that will win the race in this growth. And then there is also accelerating adoption of digital solutions, so that like I mentioned, they should be on top of the latest available technological advancements to be able to take on this challenge heads up. So now looking at recovering revenue, how can this be done? What we have seen is you need a startup mindset now. Many industry experts have suggested that we can't rely on when you need quick turnaround, when you need to meet market demands very quickly and scale up in a very short period of time. You cannot have the traditional approach. So you need to start thinking like startups, and you need action over research, testing over analysis, and these kind of quick actions need to be taken. Yeah, and then there is also this human aspects. See, for any industry to survive and thrive, we need the human resources to be, supporting the growth. Until now, human resource has traditionally been looked at as a cost center, and not much importance has been given. But now, this situation has woken us all up to hard reality that when you need the kind of workforce planning to have the workforce scale up in time in situations of lockdown like we had recently, we've had a huge challenge in having people, the right kind of people made available for production activities, for various activities of the organization at the right time. So there is a lot of importance now being realized by organizations for the human resources front. There are some, when you look at human resource processes, there are transactional activities and then there are strategic side of things. The transactional activities can be automated, outsourced. Your typical maintenance of data or processing of payroll, etc. Those kind of activities can be outsourced. But whereas workforce planning, what kind of people, skills, what resources you need in what shifts to be available, and how do we plan the workforce so that the output is maximized, and such activities are very, very important in the core of operations. And this will directly assist in accelerating your revenues, and will thus help in that process. And then what else is important is adoption of digital technology to create right kind of analytics. Every department and division needs to have the information at their fingertips. This can happen only when you have proper core ERP systems in place, which will have the necessary automation to give you the information in real time, as it happens, when it happens. And then those that information has to be translated into dashboards to monitor the KPIs for various departments, and those should be available in real time for the decision makers to do a quick course correction. And this is what we have seen in our experience in the past 20-25 years, is that this can, having the right kind of analytics can definitely assist in improving the decision making capabilities up to about 30%, and they can take the right decisions at the right time if they have, and course correction can be done if the systems are in place and they have the numbers in real time. And the fourth important factor here is purpose-driven customer playbook. That is, there can't be enough stress on the fact that we need to act, every single industry needs to act based on the customer demands, based on the feedbacks from customers on what exactly is required to cater to them, how to help them serve their customers better. So to do all of that and get that feedback, you need right kind of CRM, and you also need to have online and quick feedback system where you can quickly collaborate with our customers, and not rely on the traditional ways of communications through emails or other means. So this also what is very important is to relook at all the supply chain to make sure that your customers get the right kind of material at the right time when they are required the most by the customer. So all of this is possible only when you are able to give the right kind of systems and access to your customers, so that for example, we have these vendor portals where your vendors and your customers will collaborate with you and give you real-time information on what is required when, and in terms of vendors, when they are supplying what material, and when you can expect the same to be available for you. About rebuilding operations, I would now like to invite Prashant, our SAP delivery head, to uh, touch upon a few aspects of how production operations or general operations can help in rebuilding and getting back on track.
Thank you, Rajesh. It's been a very descriptive narration of where we stand as a community and where we have to be going forward. It's been a tough time for the industry, for everybody in the country as well as in the world. But we have to survive this. We have to be a part of the survival, and also a part of growing and becoming something that we all aspire to be. So operations in terms of businesses is critical. So as I've just mentioned, it is striking to know how many companies have already adapted to the new business environment, and the basic foundation for making operations which will sustain this kind of pressure is based on how visible we are in terms of our operations, how agile we are, and how we are looking into productivity, and how end customer is being engaged with the business. So to achieve this, we have a set of steps that we have to follow to bring us to a place wherein we can sustain this the effect of this pandemic. One among them is to start with is to be resilient in our operations. Make sure that we're not shocked by any more things such as this pandemic. And one of the things that it has brought out is that the fragile supply chains that we have. So this has driven most organizations to move out from global sourcing to local sourcing, and this is to rebalance their global assets and supplier base. So this trend was expected based upon looking at the condition in the economy and the world and in the world, and also the industry as a whole is moving towards increased use of external suppliers and increased use of contract labor, and using software as a service. And also to achieve this, there is a value chain digitization that needs to be done. And as we understand, building such a resilient operation could be expensive. But the good news, however, is that there are leading innovators who have demonstrated how Industry 4.0 can help. Industry 4.0 is the terminology known as the fourth industrial revolution, which uses a suite of digital and analytical tools to enhance and to optimize production. So this is the 4.0 revolution has already started in most areas. This is about low cost, high flexibility operations, and most companies are already digitizing operations. And now it is the time to accelerate the adoption of technology. And to understand or to make better use of such a base, one of the first things that as an organization everybody has to look into is being more transparent in their operating expenses as well as the capital expenses. So we have to bring in cost transparency and analysis of procurement spending, rebalancing or optimization of inventory, and understanding capital spend. And mostly companies are also looking at how to move fixed costs into service models. I would like to hand over to Mr. Rajesh for.
So thanks,
Yeah.
Prashant, for overview on the operation side. And now the third aspect that we need to consider is to bounce back and cater to this immense demand is the rethinking of our organization structure. Some of these points I already touched upon, like we need to have the right kind of talent at the right situation. We have tools like SuccessFactors and SAP HCM. With the modules properly configured and delivered, we can have very quick turnaround in terms of identifying talent and get onboarding them in a very short period of time, and integrating everything seamlessly for the users, and giving the power to the people who matter. For example, for the production shop floor supervisors to identify people who are required in that shift and things like that, the shift planning, scheduling, etc. And apart from this, to grow, you need the people and in the organization to also grow. So learning and development plays a very vital role in the growth of the organization. You need to have the right kind of talent. You need to assess their skill sets, the learning needs, and then provide them with appropriate training. And it has been stressed earlier, now everything needs to happen at a rapid pace. We don't have a lot of time to conduct lot of surveys, have one-on-one meetings with people to identify where their training needs are, and then managers recommending that to the HR. And then so the traditional way of doing things has to be relooked at, and we have to get into new, faster, quicker action oriented things, and we need technological tools to support such quick actions, rapid actions. And so SuccessFactors and SAP has luckily made those tools available for us to accelerate this adoption and growth. And so there are many other digital adoptions, like Prashant mentioned, on AI and IoT. So I think Prashant will be able to tell you more about these things. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh. That was a very valuable input. One of the things that we need to do as a society or as a community in business is that we have to look at a huge scale migration to digital technologies. We are seeing a slump in business. We understand that, but this is a temporary slump, and this will definitely result in increased consumer demand, which will come suddenly and in clusters. And it's very important for any organization to be prepared to analyze these demands and signals in real time, and being adaptive to quickly bring in supply chains and services back, so that the customers are serviced. So one of the critical factors and the critical foundations that any company has to lay is to be digital in the transactions. So one of the, and the foundations for that is to be on an ERP platform, and SAP is the best ERP platform in the world, and it is supported by technologies such as SuccessFactors, such as Business Objects, which provides predictive analysis and tools. In our understanding to refocus on digital enhancements, we have to think about using or understanding how to use new advancements in technology such as IoTs and AIs, machine learning, things like that. We are actually happy to note here that we have built solutions wherein we have completely automated data entries in shop floors. We have built machine learning platform which learn from machine behavior and make suitable algorithm changes. And moving to an automated data collection shop floor should be the aim of any such industry. And when we look at what kind of advantages this an ERP platform brings into the picture, we have to see that a proper ERP platform can optimize your inventory to 10% of your inventory value. 10% inventory value is a huge amount. Which can help you in cash flows. And as Mr. Rajesh just said, having a proper customer engagement will also enhance your customer satisfaction. And in production, with an automated shop floor, we can look at a minimum of 50 man hours per day to be saved because of automated processes and data collection. This will easily result an increase in your shop floor supervision productivity by 12%. And looking at the current trends, wherein we're talking more of transparency in terms of cost, in terms of expenses, moving to direct costing from overhead costing is going to help your production a lot. And as Mr. Rajesh just said, having shop floor workforce optimization is critical in this journey. So, being a part of SAP, we have built these solutions. We understand that these are critical to the growth of an organization, and especially the printing and packaging industry is going to see a surge in production, in demand, and also in customer expectation. I would like to invite Mr. Pratik here to give some inputs on how he understands the technology has helped him in the industry.
See, like we say, yes, the ERP has a very big part in managing our day-to-day show. If we say we need ERP for almost everything, it is. I'm when we say about ERP, I'm not talking about conventional data management. This thing that whatever we have used, whatever consumed, and this and that. Apart from that, I think so. See, in our corrugated box plant, if we see, uh, it starts with when your rolls come in, and traditionally the rolls are rolls that are raw material for us. The raw material comes in, then you stack it or store it into your store, issue it whenever required. Now to exactly know the location, take it into the use, and then consume the material to such some product against some product. So all that, if we see in a real time now, lot many persons has to be involved. So if at all good ERP system, I think so, used along with IoT device and AIs, I think so this can help a lot, reducing manual intervention into the system, and same manpower can be used to do lot many productive things, where it can improve the operational efficiency. uh, at the same time, as some system like Prashant told, that it can automate the entries, production entries, what are happening, and this thing. So that helps a lot, finally, in reducing the manual intervention and using same manpower for some good things, or to analyze that data. The time is now not for data collection; it is analyzing it properly, so that we can solve many problems. So yes, this helps a lot, and in almost all aspects of at least our, if I talk in point of view of our corrugated box plant, I think so this can help from our beginning to the end, all operations, and we can do great with help of this kind of systems. Yes, for sure.
Thanks, Pratik. Would you be able to share some light on how consumption of paper rolls in terms of direct costing has helped your organization?
See, paper as it is a if we say in our this thing 70% is paper. There is a cost of paper. So I think so. If we see there are we produce like in a month we deliver around 5 to 700 different type of boxes to our various customers. So to make that 700 boxes kind of thing, each box will have its own requirement in terms of strength of the box, and accordingly the right paper has to be selected. Now if we take help of ERP in understanding, say from the beginning, if we take correct accumulate correct data and order our raw material in such a way that we have minimal wastage, or we give a sizable requirement to our paper mills, uh, so that they can also produce more efficiently, and the quality also improves with that if it is a long order. So that way it helps a lot. Secondly, when we try to when we say it is a important or the major raw material, this thing, now if lack of certain information, like if we do not have uh, proper assumption on when the material is required and things like that, or what is the in comparison with the demand, uh, then I think so you mostly end up using higher grammage of papers due to that, and that adds to the loss or reduces your profit in a big way. So yes, it can handle in a better way if a good system is available to record the to see the demand and accordingly uh, raise purchase orders to the mill, and regulate the movement of your raw material. And inventory also, if Prashant rightly said in one of his thing, that reducing inventory also helps a lot in improving profits. So this also, a proper system also helps in reducing inventory. So it helps a lot in that way. Yeah.
Thanks, Pratik.
So overall, you can say, Pratik, that there is a lot of cost savings and return on investment by having the digital applications in place, correct?
Yes, cost saving and return of investment is much faster if it, yes, configured properly, then it is much faster. Yes.
Thank you, Pratik. Would you also care to shed some light on how you're tracking your finished goods and your work in progress? Because as I understand, the conversion process goes through a lot of machines and a lot of work centers, and it should be a Herculean task to manage all of them without a proper system.
Yes, of course. As I told that we almost are producing around 700 items in a month, more than that maybe sometimes. So that way, managing inventory is finished goods inventory also is very Herculean task. So like when we say a ton of, in a simple example, if I say in ton of paper, in a truck we can get say around 16 to 18 tons of paper rolls, right? But same thing, we ship out that 18 tons of waste paper, we have to ship out 8 to 10 trucks. So because it is a lot of air, so it is like we are now, if we say about for this 700 products, we almost make around 500,000 boxes, or sorry, 5 million boxes a month. So each item, to meticulously, without help of and proper ERP, it is very difficult to manage stocks as well. Second thing, if you have data of exactly where the product is stored, with help of IoTs and some something like RFID or something, that where the material is lying, so that way also we can reduce a lot of effort in finding that material and loading it. So yes, in that also it helps a lot.
Thanks, Pratik.
Thank you, Mr. Pratik, for all the valuable inputs, and we really appreciate your time and your valuable insights. Now, if anybody has any questions, we are open to take questions, and I would also like to inform everyone that if you think of any questions, you can always reach out to us through any of our social media platforms. We are on LinkedIn and all the platforms, and so you're welcome to send us, email your questions as well to info@itchamps.com, or you can reach out to any of us. And we would be happy to address your concerns or questions. Uh, all right, so if there are no questions, I think we can end our presentation here. Thank you, Anand, for moderating. Thank you again, Mr. Pratik, and thanks, Prashant,
Thank
and
you.
thanks all the participants. Look forward to working with you all again in future. Thanks.
Thank you very much.